afternoon. What's new? Me, been discussing a number of interesting technology shifts and the shift of technology in the shift of business. And often I see that as we enter a new generation of technology, that is the time where most practitioners go, the rules have changed, we can throw away the rule book, and it is exactly that time when one needs to revisit the fundamentals, the back to basics. And so here, the technical discussion was around the future of the BYOD, bring your own device, the demise of the corporately controlled lockdown desktop provided by the organisation, and a move to directors' board meetings presented on iPads, electronic board minutes, iPads also for personal use, but where staff, contractors, joint venturers, etc. are expected to turn up at an organisation with their own toolkits, their own tool sets, and maintain their own capabilities. At this point, we go in two directions. One is the corporate need to pull all of its information back and make sure these devices are access only, and that is a discussion about cloud, secured cloud, governance of security and security of information around IT. That's another session and another video, which I'm sure will be up on the blog fairly soon. But this discussion is actually about the other side of the back to basics, which is these devices not being under corporate control are way more flexible and way more friendly and personable, and indeed functional, such as the device I happen to be talking to at this point in time, my iPhone. But the point being that these devices, as they get more multifunctional, are actually no longer locked down. They are flexible and they are a point of risk. And I just had a demonstration of how basically simple it was for an organisation, and it was demonstrated the process they went through, a security organisation in Australia, who basically downloaded an app on one of the major vendor websites, injected a small amount of code into it and republished it. And the code they injected into it basically enabled the device to use GPS to locate where you were at a particular time, and when you were in a location at a time, it started recording everything that was going around it. So if you're particularly sensitive about what goes on in your board meetings, you probably don't want that happening. The upshot of this is that when you go back to the own devices, the back to basics that's required is user responsibility and training again of users for acceptable use policies, and the acceptable use policies associated with a bring your own device environment as it relates to the specific risk of your organisation. If you don't want to be listened to, if you don't want to be recorded, if you are at threat of that happening, you, the executive, the staff member, everyone is involved in that security. It cannot be left to technology to protect you. Talk to you later.